figuring out where you want to expand is very, very important. You have to make sure you're going to make money no matter where you go. Okay. There are some markets that are so saturated right now with Airbnbs and short-term rentals that it doesn't make sense to go there right now. Disney, the whole Orlando area, that entire area is very, very saturated right now because everyone and their mom is basically going to that area. Okay. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Joshua Park, like it's getting more and more saturated, right? Because everyone's realizing, all right, I need to go to the cities, right? Even cities like Dallas and Houston and like all these cities are getting very saturated because everyone and anyone could just basically go to these cities and pick up units and start hosting, right? A lot of the cities that don't have regulations, they don't have any restrictions, there's more saturation because everybody wants to go to cities where there's no regulations, no restrictions, no permits needed, right? In cities that are heavily regulated, like Chicago, there's not a lot of competition because, to get the permits, to get in the right zone, right, to make sure you're in compliance with regulations, it's very hard. So the money you can make in Chicago is a lot more than somewhere in Texas because there's not a lot of competition because it's so hard to get a permit in that city, right? So my philosophy is deciding on where am I going to expand next. One is I do my market research on the macroeconomics, right? Does that city shut down every 3-4 months from a COVID variant coming out, right? Does that city have good policy in terms of business? Do they have a lot of regulations and permits and situations like that? Cities like LA, Toronto, Seattle, San Francisco are very, very anti-short-term rental. They're very, very anti-Airbnb. All right. Cities like Miami, cities like, places in Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, literally anywhere in the Midwest, even all over the East Coast. A lot of those cities are very, very friendly with short-term rentals and Airbnbs, because it's just the politics essentially in that specific state. That's generally how it is. So I like to first make sure I'm in a state where, they're very pro Airbnb, pro short-term rental. Then after that, I do my market research and figure out, do I want to be in a city where, it's very seasonal, or if it's busy all year round? Am I going to make 80% of my income in 3 months in the summer, June, July, August? Or am I going to make an average, income throughout the entire year? Some people, right, only go in places that are very, very seasonal. Okay. They'll make literally 80% of their money, 20, 30 grand a month, just for those 3-4 summers, 3-4 months in the summer. When the winter is like completely dead, completely like no one's staying, basically, right? That's fine. When you average it out, is you still make $3,000-4,000 a month, right? Or do I want to be a city where it's just on average, I'm making $2,500 a month per unit? I'm fine with that, right? Now, it's up to you. It's for you to decide. And once I figure that out, then I decide, okay, now I have to do my research on these buildings. I'm gonna have my VAs cold call every single building in the area, and then decide if I want to, if the numbers work. Then I'll actually go ahead and proceed with that decision or not. We are not in the business of picking and choosing what building I want to be in, right? It's not like buildings are offering Airbnb units left and right. You have to literally beg for units, essentially, right? You don't have the luxury to choose, right? Buildings are the ones who are basically going to say yes, right? You're not going to tell them, I want your units. They're going to tell you, we will give you these units. So you're going to have your VAs, you're going to have yourself call everyone and anyone who's willing to work with you. Then from that, let's say I contact 100 apartments, 10 are willing to work with me. Then I'm going to filter that down by looking at the actual rents, looking at location, looking at the AirDNA, looking at the market analysis, and saying, okay, now I can pick and choose from these 10 that have said yes. I can pick and choose from these 10 that have said yes to me, and figure out, all right, now I'm actually going to do business in these buildings, in these areas or not. Okay.